Every story has an ending. Does our quest to play the top 100 courses in 10 years have a good ending? This is the Top 110 Golf Podcast. Bonus episode. JTC. They say any good story should have a villain. Someone who tests the main characters out. Someone who says what the audience are thinking. In this bonus episode, I want to introduce you to Jim, aka JTC. Jim has a very specific role in our podcast, and I have a bit of a feeling he's going to love doing it. Imagine being in our shoes. We, or I should say Chris, came up with the idea. I'm impressionable, as you've already learnt, and together that makes a heady mix that leads to getting carried away. What we need is a counterpoint to that, a devil's advocate, someone to question everything. Ladies and gentlemen, that man is the legend that is JTC. Jim, Jimbo, J-Dogs, Jimmy Mac, J to the Mac, J, James, or Mr. McLaren. Just depends how he's feeling on the day. I've known Jim for over 15 years now, and he is one of my best buddies. But I think he has all the character traits needed to fill this role. Now, what do I know about Jim? Well, of all the people I know, above all, he tells me exactly what is on his mind. He tells it like it is. There's no judgment, there's no recourse, there's no comebacks. He can say what he thinks. And I absolutely love it. And I think at this moment in time, just when we're getting excited about the challenge, we need that. So I couldn't think of anyone better to be the voice of reason on our pod. So as I said, I've known Jim for about 15 years now. We've been through a lot together. He is always there, always up for a night out, always up to giving me some advice about what's going on in my life. He's an ever-present, really. Just very recently, we had the good fortune of going to Paris to watch the Olympics, and Jim came with us, and it was brilliant having him there. It was me, my wife, and Jim, and we're like a little bit of a trio, the three amigos, and we absolutely loved having him there with us. Never says no to anything. He's always just a fun addition to anything that we're doing. So it's great to have him on board on this journey as well. Sadly, normal work and things like that are going to get in the way, so he can't join us on the golfing journey. But if you knew his golf, that might not be a bad thing. I think he's made a wise decision there. He's very good with his trusty 6-iron, but I think he has he even more than me sporadically plays good golf. But we've had some great rounds playing together. He's the perfect person, like recreational, good time golfer. Just goes out, has a chat, enjoys himself, hits golf shots. If they're good, he loves it. If it's bad, he really doesn't care. He's just happy to be out there. So I'm really glad that he's joining us on the pod. And what makes him a great friend, apart from all the things about being really honest and truthful about things, is that when I go to him with a crazy idea like coming on and being a host and an interviewer on our podcast, which is exactly what I'm going to ask him to do. Chris is going to start getting involved in our episodes because we're actually now getting to the point where we're going to play some golf. So Jim is going to interview us, and it's brilliant having him involved in this. And I think that style is going to really suit him with the role that I've got in mind for him, that I want him to question everything that we're doing. I want him to have a contrary view to what we're trying to achieve. And I think he's really, really, really going to like doing that, because I think that's his personality down to a T. just that little bit the right side of spiky. So without further ado, let's introduce you to Jim.
Hello there. Good afternoon.
Right. So, Jim, you are being introduced into our pod and to our listeners. So, I just want to get some answers to some really important questions, actually.
All
So,
right,
I'm just going to jump straight in, Jim. Straight in.
go for
What
it.
I'd like to know is what you think of our challenge.
When you first told me about it after the barbecue at yours, I thought, sounds quite interesting. I did have another thought. Has he won the lottery and not told us? Because as we all know, golf isn't necessarily the cheapest of hobbies. And yeah, felt sorry for Emma really, because you weren't going to be around for the next 10 years. But once I got over that, I started to feel a little bit of dread, personally, just on the basis that I'm actually going to have to listen to you banging on about this for the next 10 years and have to feign interest. And I didn't think I could be able to do it, if I'm being completely honest.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to talk about this a lot, aren't I? Let's be
You
honest.
already have done. You already had one round.
I've only played once. After 1% of the journey.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I was just wondering whether you needed a bigger house for all the merchandise that you're going to buy, because what's that phrase? All the gear, no idea, and all that.
Yeah,
I know you like a little memento or 500 of every time you play golf. So
look, that's the hidden cost, isn't it? The hidden cost is always the merch.
you mean hidden from the missus?
Yes, correct. I mean, how's anybody going to know I played there, apart from the podcast on the website? How are they going to know I played there if I haven't got a ball marker or a branded cap or something, you know?
Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, all of the above.
And more, yes. Don't
And
forget
more, I will.
YouTube.
Oh yeah, well, YouTube now and maybe TikTok. Are you going to do a bit of dancing on the greens or something?
Oh my goodness, you've just given me an idea.
Oh no,
Newsflash.
this is not what I'm here for.
Yeah. Newsflash. We have a TikTok.
Oh, do you?
Chris Chris dancing on the greens. I like that. I like
Well,
that.
he's the only one who's ever going to get a birdie or an opportunity to. So
Oh, well, we're going there already. We're going there already. So that actually leads me on to my second question: is how would you describe your interview style and your role in this pod? I think we just had a flavour.
yeah, unprofessional, antagonistic, uh, impatient, um, uncaring. Do you want to go on?
I see you're describing yourself at the minute, James. So yeah, this is
Well,
good.
this. I think this clearly defines our friendship. So thus far, without the
Is this a
swearing,
nice? Is this a subplot, James? Is this Jim? Is this going to be
is it Jim or
you
James?
know,
Who knows?
the test? You know, in 10 years, are we still friends at the end of it? We've made it through 15 so far.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see why not. You're not going to be around as much, are you? So
That is true. That is true.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, we've said worse things to each other over the years. I'm sure.
That is true. And I did actually say that. I did say earlier on that you are a person who certainly tells me it like it is.
Vice
There's no
versa.
filter. Yeah, there's no filter. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now my last question for you, Jim, is tell us something interesting about me that our listeners may not know.
Well, they may not know now, but they will do very soon.
Oh.
Everybody, Nish has two kids, and he talks about them a lot. Probably
Touche.
more than the golf. I knew
Touche.
that was too obvious. It was too obvious. Um, Also, interesting that none of the listeners know, but again, they're going to find out from various podcasts in the future that you hold the unofficial world record for the longest time it's taken to actually take a golf shot.
Oh, bombshell.
Oh, so anybody who's in the round behind you on any of these games, then rounds, sorry, then yeah, you might be in for a long wait.
Are you trying to tell me that I can't wear podcast branded merch on the course now because people will know they're in for a long round behind us.
Well,
Yes, that's
you
the
might just
answer, isn't it?
yeah, you might just have to book the next kind of three tees behind you just to give you a bit of breathing space.
Oh, God, yes, yeah. Unfortunately, he is right. Yeah. Okay. Right. So we're getting into submissions within the mission now. So speed up the golf. Speed up the golf. Right.
I'm not the first person to have told you that.
I'm going to get Chris to put a stopwatch on it next time, and I'm going to time him. And I think that'll be a nice little competition between us. Cumulative time taken over a shot. Yeah, I like this. I like this.
It's not the
You know
kind of
me.
speech. You don't look.
You know me. I like the stats. I need to know this.
Oh yes, yes. We know you like the stats.
Right. Well, Jim, thank you for your time. You've given us a real flavour of what you're going to add to the pod, and I love it. It's going to be brilliant.
Well,
Cannot
very,
wait.
but it'll be good fun anyway. It's you know,
Oh,
it's I
absolutely.
think it'll be nice to mark the kind of. I know it sounds really corny when you say this, but like the journey because it is something that you've wanted to you've talked about for a little while now. You like your golf, and you know, playing some of the better courses, the best courses in the country, and hopefully that you know that it won't be as difficult to get to some of those most prestigious courses as we might envisage it is now.
They'll be practically begging us to play soon, mate. With any of this kind of banter, they listen to it and they go, "We need to be associated with this."
Well, I might join you in one or two rounds, but
Yes.
yeah, well, yeah, but you know how rubbish I am, so well, I'll have to make sure that get some practice in, and yeah, but look forward to taking the piss out of you much more over the next 10 years.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to give you plenty of fodder. So, yes. Well, look, thanks, Jim. Thanks for joining us. And I really look forward, if that's the right word, to our first pod together,
Yeah, yeah,
I think.
absolutely, mate.
So that was Jim, J Dog, JTC. He's going to be the one who's going to bring this whole pod together. So thanks for listening to our bonus pod today. Our next pod is going to be special because we're going to film it so you can actually see Jim interviewing us. So until next time, this has been the Top 110 Golf Podcast.